Welcome to my channel. Today we're doing something very new for me. We're doing a bookish book tag. It is called The New Year, New Me. I was originally tagged by the creator called Bibliophile Bookscape. I really like his content. I'm glad I found it, so please check him out. Also, I've tagged a bunch of creators down below. Please check those out as well. Also, if you are one of those creators that I tagged, don't feel any pressure to do this. This is just my way of saying, hi, I really like your content, so hope you guys enjoy. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right at all. This is my first time doing one of these, so let's see how it goes. The first question that we have is fears. So what is one book on your reading goal that scares you? And that was an easy one for me. It is Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds. So one, because it's super chunky. It's also part of a series with many other books connected with it, and I'm not quite sure of the order to read it in. So if you know, please comment down below. Also though, I saw a book video recently by a creator called Portable Magic, and she said she didn't like this book because the writing was very verbose and there was a bunch of time jumps back and forth. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like my personal hell when it comes to reading. However, it is a space opera, and sometimes I can overlook a lot in sci-fi just because I really like the genre. I usually really like the technology and the themes within. So I can ignore more things than I can in other genres. So still hopeful, but definitely a little worried about this one. Next, we have Patience. What is one book on your 2026 reading goals you want to get to first? So I actually don't pick my own books. I kind of do it at random or let someone in my life pick them. Find it more fun and I want to read everything, so it would take me too long to read. But if I got to choose or wanted to choose, I would probably pick Say Nothing, A True Story of Murder and Memory in Northern Ireland by Patrick Radden Keefe. I wanted to read this for a while. One, it's also on the 100 Books of the Century list, and also I'm just really interested in the history of Northern Ireland. My granny came to Canada from Belfast in 1952. My grandfather also came from Dublin. I was also lucky enough that before her death, she traveled with all of her grandchildren back to Ireland, so we got to go to Dublin and Belfast and a lot of other places. So I'm just really interested in this time and this period. If you don't know this one, this is about the case of Jean McConneville. She was a mother of 10 that went missing. She was seen taken from her house by masked men. It is suspected that it was the IRA, but no one's really come forward about it. And I believe he just also uses this story as a general way of talking about the conflict during that time. So I am very interested in this, and the book takes place in 1972. Then our next one is called Growth. What book last year pushed you to reflect or grow as a reader? This one is going to be The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins for a couple of different reasons. One, it was the first time that I read a classic because I wanted to, not because I was in university or school or anything like that, and I think that made all the difference. I think anytime you're forced to do something, you don't like it, so it's the first time I actually enjoyed reading a classic, and now I really like the genre. So definitely something new for me. And then the second reason is because it had a lot of strong female characters. It was actually quite feminist, especially since it was published in the 1800s and by a man. And so I think reading that, it just made me realize that I don't have to be so lenient with flaws, especially with like some of the older sci-fi that I read. I still love them. I think I'm just more confident now of like pointing out the flaws or being okay at acknowledging the flaws, because I know like it was the times isn't always true. There were writers doing different things and writing strong female characters. So that book really changed my perspective last year. Then we have A New Path. What author do you plan on reading for the first time? That one's easy because it's on this month's TBR, and it's Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. Gonna read quite a bit of her this year. The other author will be George R. Martin. I'm going to read Windhaven. I also have his other book, Fever Dream, but I think I want to read this one first. what is a book series you revisit for comfort? So I don't do a ton of rereading, and I wouldn't necessarily say that I would do this for comfort, but the only thing I can think of is, and it's a weird pick, would be Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert A. Howland. I love this book, however, if you haven't read it, if you're not a big sci-fi person, I wouldn't recommend. It definitely does have some problems, but I love it. A lot of nostalgia for me. And it is kind of the only book, or one of the very few books I've actually tabbed and written things in. So if I reread anything, it's probably this or the Foundation series. Then we have Forging Ahead. What's your favorite debut novel or first in a series that you read last year? So my favorite debut novel was a book called When the Cranes Fly South. Oh my goodness, this was such a good book, and it is the first book last year, and actually only the second book ever to make me absolutely bawl my eyes out. It's not a fast-moving book. It is really slow, but it's just about the last few days of a man's life and the decisions that his son has to make for him and how he feels about them. And yeah, it was just really, really sad. It made me think a lot about like the choices that we have to make as we get older for our parents, and how do we make the best choices, one that considers their safety but also still considers their independence and their agency over their own lives. So it's a really tough balance. It was such a good read. I do highly recommend it. Then we have goals. Do you have a specific reading goal or challenge? So yes, I like Goodreads. I want to read 72 books, which is about 6 books a month, which seems really doable. Honestly, I don't care about that one that much though. I think I'll get there, but if I don't really care. Then a reading challenge that I am doing, but it's not one I need to finish this year, is I am reading through all 100 books of the century from the New York Times. I just want to read one book per month from it, so this will be my second year doing it. Not sure if I'll ever make a video about that because honestly it's going to take me years to do, but I just thought it was fun, and it really does diversify my reading quite a bit from different genres. And then lastly, we have Breaking Walls. Do you have any non-reading goals? I would say my one, just more broadly for a lot of aspects in life, is just consistency. Just trying to get consistency. I think I like the quote that is, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. I have a tendency to be very all in or not in at all, meaning like 1 month I could be going to the gym every single day and then the next not at all. And I don't think that's really helpful. They're just do the things I know I should on a consistent basis, whether I'm feeling great or I'm not. So that's something I'm working on. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. And again, check out everyone that I tagged below. I've been having a lot of fun talking to everyone and watching everyone's videos. If you have any recommendations for book, always leave them down below. I'm always looking for new things to read. Have a great night.